Welcome to the regular council meeting being held today, Monday, January 22, 2024. It's 6 p.m. and we are in the council chambers at Trail City Hall. Members of the public can be present in council chambers during these meetings. Alternatively, public members can also observe meetings via Zoom. The Zoom link is included within the agenda that is posted to the city's website. This meeting will also be recorded and published to the city's YouTube site. Mayor Jones and Councillor Butler send their regrets, and I will be acting mayor for this meeting and will be the chair of this meeting. We will start with the adoption of minutes. Item 1.1 from the agenda, regular council meeting of January 8, 2024. Can I have someone to move the adoption of that? Councillor Martin, Councillor Wilson, all in favor? Carried unanimously. So we'll move on to point 2.1 of the agenda, delegations. And today we have with us Marty Makeway, Maggie McMahon, and Nora Maddox. They're calling their agenda title Climate Action Plans and Land Use Bylaws. And they are here to present a delegation to council. If I can have them come forward, please. Is there a third person? Okay, very well. So before you speak, I would just ask you to say your full name and address.
Marty Makeway, 4th Avenue Trail.
Thank you, and ma'am?
Nora Maddox, Preston, BC.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to remind the presenters that we have a 10-minute time limit set by our bylaw. At around the 7-minute mark, I will give you the heads up that you have about 3 minutes to finish. And in that last 3 minutes, I would encourage you to be the time to give questions to council. Now, today we will not answer those questions. It's not part of the protocol. So the questions will be recorded and they will be answered to you by correspondence from city staff.
Yeah.
You okay? That's all clear?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, since the mayor isn't here, is she watching online or?
I can't say for certain if she's watching online, but I'm confident that Mayor Jones will be watching this video.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna read it as we prepared it, assuming that she would have been here.
Okay, very
Is
well.
that okay?
Yeah, please begin. Your time starts now.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council, ladies and gentlemen in the audience. My name is Marty Makeway. I'm speaking as a resident who's been delegated to express on behalf of the residents and property taxpayers of the city of Trail our concerns regarding the following issues. Thank you for allowing us this time to present our deputation to you, Ms. Mayor, if she's there, and all council members. I wish to point out a very important fact. We're not here to criticize you. We're here with the full understanding that due to your workload on behalf of the citizens of Trail, you may not have had the time to do the extensive research required to be fully apprised of the circumstances you have been instructed to work under as directed by the province of British Columbia, and in particular, the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Municipal Affairs. Our concerns being addressed in this deputation is the correlation between the Agenda 21 directives and the local implementation of climate action plans, land use bylaws, etc. Due to the time constraint of only 10 minutes, we cannot verbally expound on all the details of these various issues. To accommodate the time restriction, we will be providing to the mayor and councillors via email detailed attachments which form an integral part of this deputation to be received no later than January 24th, 2024. Due to the implementation of the United Nations Agenda 21, we are greatly concerned that our municipal leadership is not making clear and well-informed decisions for the benefit of the residents of the city of Trail. More consultation with residents is necessary. The format for these in-person meetings must be designed to accommodate the residents, affording them the opportunity to be able to participate in expressing their personal views and asking questions of the mayor and councillors in a group meeting. I'm not sure if you're aware, but that in 1992 at the United Nations and Federation of Municipalities Convention, that Canada, along with 178 other countries, formed an agreement which is non-binding Hidden in that agreement was Agenda 21. In 1994, they subsequently issued the Municipal Primer, which was distributed to every municipality in Canada. The Municipal Primer contained the instructions to the municipalities on how to restructure their municipal government according to the directives contained in Agenda 21. The Municipal Primer is a blueprint for our global economic and official development and is a non-governmental, international foreign entity document prepared in accordance with the goals and structuring of the United Nations Agenda 21. All countries who signed on to this agreement ceased to be a nation. Under this non-legal, non-binding agreement, Canada effectively became a UN member state, no longer a sovereign country under the rule of law and the supremacy of God. The format used gives anyone whose name appears on the signature page of this agreement a zero liability status. Those who implement these Agenda 21 directives indirectly identifies each one of you as a UN enforcer of the Agenda 21. With that statement, I'm referring to the implementation of their climate action plan, land use bylaws, etc. Additional information regarding these facts are provided in the attachment to the oral written presentation. The International Council on Local and Environmental Issues, ICLEI, became the municipality's primary source of information for consultation to push and fund the Global Agenda 21. Who do you think is funding ICLEI? The restructuring of our towns and cities. The government's restructuring also included rewriting local community plans, our local laws and bylaws. This became the Municipal Act of 2001 and since changed to the Local Government Act. And it initiated the amalgamation, regionalization, and incorporation of independent, autonomous local towns into private governing environment. This restructuring not only carries huge consequences for the area and its residents, but possible huge liability for any actions that you take from this point forward. Towns and cities were transferred into becoming a corporation. The City of Trail is a corporation. Subsequently, our elected officials unknowingly were partnered with a private corporation, the City of Trail. That private corporation, the City of Trail, would assist using their local municipal agenda, community plans, etc., to implement the global goals under Agenda 21. Non-governmental, international foreign entities who are interfering in the governance of Canada through our municipal elected officials. Then the question remains, why are we letting a foreign entity impose the rule upon the citizens of Canada, and more importantly, the residents of the City of Trail? City of Trail and Regional District of Kootenay boundary offices thus are now UN satellite field offices, an international jurisdiction under which public-private partnerships are acting in de facto law. The mayor holds 3 titles, 1 as the mayor, 2 as the chief executive officer of the corporation of the City of Trail, and 3 as the head of council, a United Nations title. This private corporation, the City of Trail, along with its chief administrative officer, now work together to implement the International Global Agenda 21 instead of a local municipal one. The people who undertook this deputation and those who support it understood that they elected you to act in and for the local public office only, and therefore are requiring a written response to the following questions by 5 p.m. February 12, 2024. Questions for all elected officials of the City of Trail to be answered in written form, which is to clarify the extent of the global influence within the governance of the City of Trail. Number 1, as elected officials, please supply us with a copy of any oaths of office, covenants, or pacts that you personally have signed as an elected official of the City of Trail at any time once elected to the office to this current date. Number 2, as an elected official of the City of Trail, please supply us with a copy of any charters, pacts, covenants, type documents that you personally have signed as the mayor, either acting as mayor, head of council, chief executive officer of the corporation of the City of Trail at any time once elected to office to this current date. Number 3, how do you prioritize the authority of the municipal government versus the authority of the international agencies of any kind and our provincial government who want to implement Agenda 21 on every single resident and community in this province? Number 4, if the rising atmosphere CO2 levels above the current level of minus 415 parts per million, 0.04%, are alleged to cause forest fires, then please describe the mechanism of action at the molecular level and explain why greenhouses do not burst into flames when CO2 levels
You're at the 7-minute mark.
Okay.
Ms. Mackey, thank you.
exceed 600 parts per million. Number 5, Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the UN, recently made this public announcement. I quote, "We have entered the era of global boiling," end quote. If this claim is true, then why doesn't a pot of water begin to boil inside a greenhouse when CO2 levels of 1,500 parts per million are reached? Number 6, will the mayor and council commit to our energy security above all else whenever a climate change proposal is presented to it? Number 7, will council make a public statement confirming that they will represent the residents and citizens 100% against special interest organizations? Number 8, will council confirm publicly that they will demand the highest possible standard of proof when climate change topics arise? In other words, will council reject climate change as a magical phrase that must automatically command serious attention and consideration? Number 9, will the mayor and council expect to receive verifiable and specifically related scientific proof for any climate change request before it is granted any consideration by council? Number 10, Ms. Mayor, are you aware that the government is offering to you as mayor a new declaration to sign? I sincerely hope that we can work together to bring back our governance of the city of Trail and to the resident taxpayers who elected you and who pay your salaries. Thank you for your time and attention. I look forward to your written response, excuse me, sent to my attention by the due date of February 12th, 2024. Thank you.
Does council have any questions for the delegate?
We'll be receiving a copy of that along with the attachments. We'll be forwarding that to you.
Okay, that would be very helpful. Does council have any questions?
Within 2 days.
Okay, that will conclude the delegation
Yeah.
presentation. And we're going to move on to agenda item 3, and that is the public question period. Before we begin, can I just have a quick show of hands of how many people plan to speak in public question period? We have 1 speaker.
Okay.
We have 3. Okay, I maybe 5 minutes max, if that's possible. I'm just doing that survey, so we can kind of do a timeline. So we can respect maybe a 5-minute timeline, is that fair? Okay, speakers, please take the podium and just announce who you are and your address, please.
Good evening, I'm Donovan Brown. I've got property Trail, 100 Tamarack Avenue. And in light of the presentation we just heard, I've got some questions for Mayor and Council as well. Can you explicitly guarantee that citizens will remain free to travel, as is their right under section 6, 7, and 9 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms? That the city will not undertake any projects, pass any bylaws, or install any equipment that has the ability to track and identify people or vehicles as they move through this town or city? That will electronically control or physically restrict vehicles from residential areas or from traveling on existing roads. Number 3, that will fine vehicle owners or drivers for operating their vehicles in certain areas. That will restrict access to essential or non-essential services, for example, medical care, bank accounts, pensions, government benefits, entertainment, sporting activities, travel, etc. Restrict access to utilities, natural gas, water, electricity, gasoline, municipal services, garbage disposal, public areas, housing, education, churches, groceries, wireless and telecommunications, employment, consumer activities. I'll repeat the question: that will you guarantee that you will not undertake any projects or pass any bylaws or install any equipment that has the ability to, I'll continue, impede citizens' ability to garden, farm, collect personal data or distribute personal information publicly and or violate protected privacy rights? That will incentivize the CBDC, which is the central bank digital currency, over the use of cash, or implement a social credit system, and or enforce the ESGs, environmental social governance, on businesses, employees, and citizens. And I have submitted this information regarding the smart cities, 15 cities. Under the climate action plan, these are the things that are concerning to me and many others. And I hope that you will review that and guarantee that you as our elected leaders will not implement any of these projects that are coming your way. Because we don't want to see any more of our freedoms impeded. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Marilyn Limbert. I'm from Fruitvale, but I'm speaking with regard to the climate action plan in general, and specifically our energy sources. Is with this recent cold spell, it's become pretty clear that to have a multiple source of energy is important, not just electricity. And part of the climate action plan is focusing solely on electric power. In this recent cold spell, there's a couple of things that made me think is important. In April 2023, in the Nelson Star, there was a debate at Nelson City Hall over the future of natural gas. Blair Weston said that the cost to make Nelson completely electric would be extremely high. A report provided by Fortis in the Kelowna electrification case study suggested the cost to build a completely electric grid would be anywhere between $2.6 and $3.4 billion. Weston says natural gas provides more energy output than its electric counterpart. The coldest day in December 2022, hydro gave about 10 gigawatts of power, while natural gas gave about 20 gigawatts of power. And this is from the Fortis website. We provide through our 4 hydroelectric generating plants 45% of the annual electricity needs of our customers. So we're very dependent, likely, on their buying open market electricity. And BC Hydro now is in a position where they're saying that with the crypto mining currency requirements, they've got in excess of applications beyond what Site C can provide. They also say that additionally, hydrogen is the new energy glutton. And a recent article, BCUC, to take hands-off approach to hydrogen. The final report notes that BC Hydro is offering a special discounted electricity rate for low carbon fuels like green energy. As of the date of the workshop, BC Hydro has more than 5,000 megawatts of project inquiries in the hydrogen space. Site C Dam's capacity is 1,100 megawatts. BC Hydro comments that demand for electricity is greater than supply and will result in rate increases. So we're, I think, experiencing that exact thing with the recent rate increases that we've had. The other thing is April 2023, BC Hydro cryptic about crypto mining electricity use. Richard McCandless, retired assistant deputy minister who analyzes BC Hydro performance, quoted, BC Hydro's secrecy about crypto loads appears rooted in the Crown Corporation underestimating load demand. Crypto is up so dramatically, they didn't want to show that. So basically, we in this area is to rely solely on electricity as what our climate action plan is indicating, to me seems very foolish. And certainly I would hope that this would be taken into consideration. The limited supply of electricity, the demand that is so high with crypto mining, with hydrogen, it just really needs to be considered seriously. I thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dorothy Brown. I'm at 1100 Tamarack Avenue in Trail. I'm gonna read this. It's, don't be fooled by the smart /15-minute /C40 city narrative that is being touted as a way to save the planet and humanity whilst keeping you safe and providing the convenience of everything you need on your doorstep. Hand in hand with this is the implementation of digital ID, central bank digital currency, and universal basic income, UBI, all to benefit you, right? The reality is drastically different. Point 1, 24/7 surveillance through the Internet of Things inside your home, 5G and LED streetlights with cameras and auto detection outside to monitor, track, record everything. Point 2, implementation of exclusion zones and geofencing to restrict movement and travel. Point 3, ability to control behavior through military-directed energy technologies. Point 4, property and car ownership outlawed, evictions from farms and ranches and rural areas in order to gather people into cities. Point 5, digital passport tied to social credit score, which is determined by compliance to government directives, controls all access and all aspects of life. Point 6, digital currency implemented to end cash and monitor all spending. Digital currency turned off or on, depending on compliance score. Point 7, UBI, which is back up here somewhere. A state-controlled allowance, which forces compliance by restricting access to food, money, services, education, and entertainment. And point 8, all the above will enable climate lockdowns to be implemented easily, arbitrarily, and indefinitely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Would you like to address public question period? If not, we will be moving on to point 4 of our agenda item. 4.1, proclamation request from the Canadian Women's Health Art Center. Then the recommendation is that council proclaim February 13, 2024 as Wear Red Canada Day in the city of Trail. And somebody, Councilor Hanson, seconded, Councilor Wilson, and all in favor? Carried, unanimous. Thank you. Item number 5.1 on the agenda is the revitalization tax exemption bylaw number 2935, 2024. This is the first, second, and third readings. And the recommendation is that the revitalization tax exemption bylaw number 2935, 2024 received its first, second, and third readings. Would you like to speak to this, Mr. McGrath?
Please.
Thank you.
Thanks, Acting Mayor Cashel. So council, this is can be a common tool. There's not a lot of tools for a municipality to have in assisting business. And so this is a way of assisting business. It's inside the community charter as a revitalization municipal tax exemption. What it allows for and what has to be careful, but if someone was to take a big investment, they have to fill an application. And what their assessed value is now, the hope is that whatever additions that they do to their property would increase the value, and we don't want them to be penalized by that. So the difference between what their new assessed value would be after their work and what it would have been, or essentially what it would have been without that, is taken into consideration. And then that difference of dollars that they would have been charged for property taxes, municipal property tax portion, at least in this bylaw, we make an opportunity to have that not be charged to them for a certain number of years. In this particular schedule, we're looking at all the different options, because there's revitalizations, there's building new, but we're looking at a 5-year tax exemption first 3 years at 60 and then dropping thereafter for the next couple of years. Sometimes it can be difficult, there's not necessarily a huge dollar amount that's there, but it's a way to try to assist through or encourage people that have commercial properties to be able to do that. It is clear that there could be other opportunities for this bylaw to be put into place for other categories of housing or other entities and classes that the city may be interested in trying to assist as well. Right now, today, we were looking at the commercial side property, which is class 6, and we are interested in what council thinks on us doing some investigation on what other options might be available for class 1 or others. But for today, we wanted to get this in place because I know the council asked about having this revisited a number of months ago, and we're getting to it now. And so this is where it's before you, and I'd be happy to take any questions that you want.
And Councillor Henson.
Thank you for your comments, CEO McClure. I definitely am excited to see this back on the table for our downtown businesses. But I am more wholly excited, to support that, but be able to look at other opportunities to increase development, to increase opportunity, to incentivize people to refurbish their buildings. And so I would be interested to see this move forward for the commercial level that we currently have, but be able to also address a bylaw for other classes in the near future.
Absolutely, and certainly we will take that under advisement and work forward on, as you know, Councilor Hanson, that we are going through a process as the province changes some of the zoning rules. So there's one thing I could ask is a bit of time just to understand what the effect that will be within our community here as far as how many lots per property size and whatnot, to be able to get a good handle on what would be the best way to move forward with a class 1 type of conception.
Any other questions for Mr. McClure? So we'll go back to the recommendation. The recommendation that the revitalization tax exemption bylaw number 2935, 2024 received its first, second, and third readings. Councillor Martin, thank you. Councillor Wilson, and all in favor? It's carried unanimously. Thank you, Mr. McClure. Thank you, Council. We're moving on to item 6 on the agenda. Council committee reports. And Councillor Benson, would you start us off, please?
Thank you, Acting Mayor Cashel. On January 9th, I attended the Trail Cat Committee meeting, and just a note to council that the committee's Respect and Connect series will begin in February. Their location is yet to be decided upon. Right now, their biggest focus is funding. Funding is, for many CAT committees are through the Provincial Community Action Initiative, but they've confirmed that there's no immediate plans to expand CAT funding. On January 10th, I attended the Ministry of Housing webinar, which overviewed bills 44, 46, and 47, which was a little bit of what Colin was talking about in terms of rezoning. It was a high-level review of these bills, which I'm sure our subject matter expert will report on, as she attended the individual ones as well. On January 10th, I also attended the Trail and District Arts Council board meeting. The board wanted to express appreciation to City Council for approving their grant and aid. They're also happy to report that their contract was signed with the regional district and $18,000 was approved for the Muriel Griffiths renos. They're expecting renovations to be completed in March. They're painting the room, installing new window coverings, purchasing new chairs, and developing a mural. On January 12th, myself with the majority of council attended the Life Labs opening at Winita Plaza. They opened in November, but they had their grand opening here in January. It's a service it complements the testing facilities that are managed by Interior Health. Tests includes hematology, microbiology, chemistry, and cardiac and genetic testing. The majority of tests provided by Life Labs are covered under our BC Medical Services Plan, and they're open from 7 to 3 Monday to Friday. Today I had 2 meetings. The first one was the Silver City Days Committee meeting. This was our meeting with the full committee for the first time. Silver City Days is scheduled for May 8th to 12th, and our committee this year consists of myself, Councillor Cashel as co-chair, CAO McClure, Ms. Lucchini, Dave Moorhead, Claire Steinulack, Nadine Tremblay, and Joanne Arbu. Today we also had the Community Safety Task Force meeting, which I know, Councillor Martin will report more on. What I can report on is that we received an update from Chief Derby on the year-end stats for our fire department. And 2023 actually proved to be the fire department's busiest years in calls. They had a total of 2,218 calls, which is up 17% from 2022 and 32% over their 10-year rolling average. That is my report.
Thank you, Councilor Benson. Councilor Hanson? Oh, excuse me, any questions for Councilor Benson before we move on? Thank you, Councilor Hanson, please.
Okay, so I attended the Supportive Housing Committee meeting on January 9th. January 10th, I also attended the high-level overview of bills 44, 46, 47 from the Ministry of Housing. Bill 44 permits 1 secondary suite or 1 accessory dwelling within all communities in BC and their R1 and R2 zone lots. They require bylaw changes with all municipalities to happen by June 30th. And municipalities with more than 5,000 people or within a urban containment boundary will be allowing for 3 to 4 units on lots zoned depending on the size of the lot size. There is going to be a housing needs report that will need to be done, of course OCP, which is we are working on, and zoning 20-year housing needs planning for projects. Bill 46 is regarding development finance opportunities, so opportunities to receive some funding for development. And Bill 47 was in regards to transit-oriented areas. On the 16th, attended more of these meetings, but just in more detail, the small-scale multi-unit housing regarding secondary suites and accessory dwellings, where they apply, where exemptions will apply, and where extensions regarding the adoption of the bylaws may be specific to trail in regards to whether or not we have infrastructure for those areas to service additional units. On the 17th, attended the Trail Health Environment Knowledge Sharing and Learning group meeting with the Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Health, Tech, Interior Health, and the city. On the 18th, had the Downtown Trail Improvement Committee meeting, which was a visioning session and strategic planning for the group. On the 18th, attended the Lower Columbia Community Development Team Society meeting, where the topic of conversation was a potential merger between the Lower Columbia Initiatives Corporation with the Lower Columbia Community Development Team Society, which is the wholly owned subsidiary of the Lower Columbia Community Development Team Society, and streamline some funding opportunities and cut back on expenses. And there will be a special general meeting coming in February for that. Today I attended the small scale housing workshop and how that affects 3, 4, and 6 units and how that would potentially apply to the city. And finally, I just wanted to thank the City of Trail Public Works crew and management for their quick response to being able to help the Village of Warfield out on Friday when the Village of Warfield had some equipment failures, as well as the City of Roslyn for helping out our neighbors. It just shows, you know, what it's like to be a good neighbor and help each other out. So I just wanted to commend our Public Works crew and the City of Roslyn for helping our neighbors out.
Thank you, Councilor Hanson. Any questions for Councilor Hanson? Thank you. Councilor Martin.
Thank you, Acting Mayor Cashel. So on behalf of council, I attended the following meetings. January the 9th, the RDKB Liquid Waste Management Plan meeting and trail. At that meeting, discussed the terms of reference for the committee, and we'll be asking the CAOs to attend an upcoming meeting regarding the cost of the Columbia Pollution Control Center. That date will be announced shortly. On January the 9th, I also attended the TCAP meeting via Zoom with Mayor and other members of council. January the 10th, an RDKB Utilities meeting via Teams. Discussion regarding the various water, utility, and street lighting services throughout the RDKB. We also discussed terms of reference for this committee. On January the 10th, an RDKB board meeting via Teams. As it was the first board meeting of the year, we reviewed various committee appointments, adopted respective committee meeting minutes from the end of 2023. On January the 11th, I attended an RDKB Solid Waste Management Plan Steering Committee meeting via Teams. And again, discussed the terms of reference for the committee. See, there's a bit of a plan here. January the 12th, attended the grand opening of the Life Labs at Juanita Plaza with mayor and other members of council. I just think it's really good to see another option for the residents of our area when booking their tests as opposed to the blood lab here in downtown, so that's a good option for everybody. On January the 16th, I attended an RDKB East End Services meeting and trail. We received various work plans and 5-year financial plans from the department managers. January the 18th, attended a Trail Historical Society meeting and trail. We received committee reports and museum and archive managers and collection coordinator reports. The annual general meeting for the Trail Historical Society will be held this Thursday, January the 25th at 5:30 in the multi-purpose room at the Riverfront Center. And today, January the 22nd, we did have the Community Safety Task Force meeting in the committee room. We did receive a report from Regional Fire Chief Dan Derby on stats, and there was a great discussion around the recent activation of the warming center. Tammy McLean, who I think I saw come in here a few minutes ago, she provided information on how the activation went from the initial meetings to the opening and then to the closing. And if it wasn't for Tammy and Mayor Jones and CEO McClure and city staff and other agencies, this would not have happened. We also at the meeting today reviewed the service map, which is work in progress for the committee. We'll be emailing it out to all committee members to provide information on the services each of the members of the committee and their organizations that they provide to the community. So if anybody needs any further details on any of these meetings I attended, feel free to contact me anytime.
Thank you, Councillor Martin. Any questions at this time from Councillor Martin? Councillor Wilson?
Thank you, Mayor Cashel. On Sunday, January the 14th, I spent some time at the newly formed Cold Weather Center. And I believe I can say this on behalf of council, but I just want to thank every volunteer that helped to make that a possibility. Specifically our mayor, Colleen Jones, who I understand she spearheaded she was quite involved in it and made it a possibility. And I don't know if she wants me to do this publicly, but thank you to Tammy McLean. She was there when I was there, and just to see all the hard work that her and her friends were putting in, I just think for sure you saved some lives with how cold that weather got. So made me very proud to see the community come together like that, and just a big thank you to anyone. I know there was a lot of businesses that donated clothes and food, and it was just nice to see everyone come together like that. So that is my report for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilson.
You're welcome.
And I echo those sentiments, and Tammy is in the audience, and thank you very much, Tammy. You guys have been path and really you are doing it. It truly is an amazing accomplishment. And my only, I guess, report to the mayor, which I guess is to me, is I did attend a library board meeting on January the 17th. And I won't get into the details of that, but we had over 76,000 people come through the doors of the Trail District Public Library last year, which is a phenomenal number. The Trail Library is also looking for board members. So if you're interested in becoming a part of something that promotes inclusivity and innovation and community collaboration and commitment and just being around some awesome people, I'd encourage you to get a hold of city staff to get an application to become a board member. We're looking for 3 positions right now. That concludes my report. Thank you, council. We can now move on to item 7 on the agenda, which is new business. Do we have any new business?
I have piece of new business.
Councillor Benson, please.
I'd like to make a motion to direct our staff to investigate the feasibility of rescheduling the annual pool maintenance shutdown to an alternate month. Currently, the shutdown is scheduled in August, which is a time when wildfire smoke often impedes outdoor activities in our area. Rescheduling this shutdown to a different month could provide our community members with a safe and enjoyable environment when outdoor activities are canceled due to air quality. Some data that I'd like to see in the report would be around regular pool attendance per month and an analysis of when other pools, neighboring pools like the Castlegar Pool, is closed so that we don't affect community members' access to pool facilities. To facilitate informed decision-making, I propose that staff present the report to council before March 31st, 2024. I believe this investigation will provide valuable insights into optimizing our pool maintenance schedule, aligning it with the community's needs and ensuring the continued well-being and satisfaction of our residents. And I kindly request the support of council in approving this motion.
Thank you, Councillor Benson. Any questions for Councillor Great presentation. Oh, Counselor Henson?
No,
yes.
I'll second the motion.
Oh, we have it on the floor, all in favor? It's carried unanimously. Thank you, Counselor Henson. And Counselor Henson. And I have some new business that I would like to raise at this particular point in time as well. And my motion is that staff create a policy to ensure that all correspondence addressed to mayor and council be replied to in a timely manner. That is my motion. If I could have someone move that, or maybe have discussion on it. We have a mover, Councilor, that motion. Thank you, Councilor Martin, and second. Councilor Hanson, and all in favor? Carried unanimously. Any other new business? That takes us to item 8 on the agenda, which is adjournment. Can I have a motion to Councilor Martin, Councilor Wilson, all in favor? Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Thank you to our gallery as well for participating in this respectful manner tonight. Appreciate it.